Once you've been married for a certain amount of time.
All right. Whenever you're ready.
Yep.
Where's this
Welcome
wine
to
going?
In the Lab this week. Today we've got a special treat. We're trying again another method. We're going to have the Nefarious Genesis Patrick or Shadowmill.
Hello.
Do what?
Hello.
Yeah, there. We're going to have him play his team of the week, which are the economy team, correct?
Yeah, today's the economy team for me. It's a little bit more my style.
All right, sounds good. And he's actually playing a player on the Vassal system, Tadeu Marino, who's got on the right side what he's calling Logan Swarm, which is a variant on the Johnny Swarm team theme with Wolverine combo to boot.
Everyone call.
Patrick, what would you call your team? What's the name this week?
The name this week is Wonder Dead because we're using Wonder Girl and Dead Man to create a solid lockdown. And as you may be able to hear, my wife is in the background, and she
but
is
he's really quiet. He's
having a conversation with her friends. So you may hear her in the background, and I apologize. But I will be talking through the team as we play, and we should get we should get a good example of how this team goes.
I just had an idea. Worst case scenario, go ahead and just repeat what you say if she's talking or you hear an outburst in the background, and that way I can just cut it, cut it however we need to. So
Understood.
Okay, cool. All right, so Patrick, if you want to go ahead and start, I'll let you go ahead and roll those first 4 dice.
All right. Let's see. We have PXG, so that means we want some masks. Some masks is good. We're going to save 2 masks, and we're going to hope we get a shield and another energy.
So on your first turn, what's your initial the route you're going here?
That's not bad.
Hopefully I am hoping to get 2 masks and a shield and another energy so I can buy Wonder Girl on the first turn. That is the big plan. Unfortunately, that didn't happen just now, but what I did get was enough to buy Ring of Magnetism. Now, I could spend this fist as part of the Ring of Magnetism cost, or I could just spend the mask and the bolt, and I will get 1 damage for not spending the fist. So I'm going to just do that. And Tadeu is going to take 1 damage from my Red Dragon Global, and I'm going to buy the Ring of Magnetism. And hopefully I'll get better luck next turn rolling 6 dice to try to buy Wonder Girl.
Now looking at his team, like I said, it's a Johnny Swarm variant. Your team, what's the main mechanic that you're really looking for to execute?
I'm looking to lock down his attackers to prevent them from ever attacking. And then with Johnny Swarm, I will probably be trying to prevent him from ever landing on the field with the Joker. So between those two, actually Johnny Swarm isn't as much of a problem for me because Wonder Girl will prevent him from picking off my characters. So I'm just going to get a nice fat field. Tadeu, it's your turn.
And with his team, you definitely have to. You'll be able to direct that with Ring of Magnetism. So you want to get Wonder Girl out. You want to get the. What's the reasoning behind Worth there? What's his play on this?
So Worth combos with Dead Man. I only need 1 Dead Man out on the field, and every Worth I field after that captures another character from my opponent. Well, not capture, but locks down another character from my opponent, so that he'll be unable to attack with anything but the weakest of his characters.
Okay, got it. And that Dead Man is a one-fielded. Choose a character. That character cannot attack or block until Dead Man is no longer active. So it looks like you've got that as well as the Joker. So the Joker is the uncommon. When fielded, choose an opponent's character card, canceling all previous choices. Your opponent cannot field that character while the Joker is active. So really some strong control features you got here.
Exactly. Yeah, the Joker allows me to just lock out certain characters. And the Joker might actually be my first purchase, depending on how things go. Tadeu looks like he purchased 2 kobolds, so I'm going to go ahead and PXG, and this fist goes unused, because we already talked about that. And so I'll be rolling 6 dice next turn, and I believe it's now my turn, yeah.
Well, that's... good question, Juan.
And I believe it's now my turn, so here we go. Oh man, sidekicks are not what I want. A shield is definitely what I want though, and we're gonna re-roll. Hope to get maybe.
Who do you want banned?
No, you know what? I'm gonna keep the shield. I'm gonna
Like
re-roll
whom?
and hope for a bunch of energy, and now I can get that Joker that we were talking
Well,
about.
Darius and Garen were already banned.
Yeah, so the optimal thing for that first turn, like you're saying, really is you could potentially purchase both Wonder Girl and the ring in that first turn, right?
I could absolutely, or at the very least, I could pick up her and the ring and either a Mara or a Worth on the second turn, and the Mara gives me masks that I need.
That I'm playing Teemo again. I was gonna play a real champ. But you're being an asshole to me, so there it is.
And the Mara gives me the masks that I need to be able to PXG, so I could buy Wonder Girl and Mara, and it would be a good combination.
Right, and again, this Wonder Girl, while Wonder Girl is active, when a Teen Titan character die is targeted, you may choose an opponent's character die as a new target for that effect. So essentially, we've seen similar cards to this in the past with the must be the direct target, and then using that Ring of Magnetism on them really prevents them from targeting anything else other than that. So that's a great combo with this new set that's come out.
Right, exactly.
So on his side, we looked at he's purchased the 2 swarming kobolds. He's got the 2 masks left. You went ahead and bought that, so it's his priority to go ahead and PXG.
Yes, go ahead and PXG, and then you can actually take your turn to do.
Now that Mara Global, that's an interesting one that we're seeing now with the pay a mask. If a character would deal 5 or more combat damage, it's instead deals you 2 combat damage. I know that what kind of teams are you looking to use that on? Against as a counter for?
It's really good against Formerly Weapon 10. I can just leave a Doom Caliber Knighted Formerly Weapon 10 unblocked, and the Mara Global will still reduce the damage because I don't choose. If the character would deal me 5 or more damage, it instead deals me 2. I don't have to target the character, so Doom Caliber doesn't protect him from the Mara Global.
That's great, yeah.
That is the protection I have against. I swing for a bajillion, and I just take it and take 2, so it's a pretty good thing. And then I see Tado PXG'd. It's now your turn, sir. So go ahead and draw your dice.
And looking at his team, he's got some of the standards you'd see on the Swarm, with Black Widow being early cost direct damage, the Kobolds, the Morphing Jars. Now this Morphing Jar being the 1 cost is extremely efficient in terms of comboing with the PXG global there, so really using that probably more for energy, but also gets you the bonus of if you end up fielding it while you have a Human Torch out on the field, it's going to deal that direct damage and get that going. The other portion of the combo of this team is going to be the Wolverine Doom Caliber, Wolverine being formerly Weapon 10, +4/+4 when he attacks alone, so potentially anywhere between 9 and 12 damage on a swing by himself, and Doom Caliber being there probably mostly for that global to deny your opponent from using any kind of globals on Wolverine. Now the issue with that though is it does have to be any kind of pump effect, which he does have invulnerability, has to be applied prior to the attack step because of that effect specifying that it can't be targeted during the attack step. So it should be a good combo if he can get it going. And against your team, which is does your team usually have a pretty strong board presence in terms of blockers, or how does it usually play out?
I usually have more blockers than I know what to do with, so it should be all right.
Okay, yeah, because normally we would see Relentless probably also on this team, just to ensure that the Wolverine component gets through. He's actually opted for Hulk Out instead, which is the Overcrush card that gives possibly an additional +1 attack to one single character. On that turn, he did buy the Human Torch, so he looks like he is going to try and go for that combo. You went ahead and PXG'd. What's your move probably this next turn? What are you aiming for?
really depends on which character I draw. Like if I get the ring or if I get the Joker. I'm hoping to get the Joker because I may throw the Joker out there and stop him from ever fielding kobolds, which will fill his bag with a whole bunch of wasted characters.
You think that's more important than stopping the Human Torch from fielding? Because right now,
I'm not too worried about the Human Torch at the moment. Between Wonder Girl and Mara's healing capabilities, I think I'll be all right once I get that going. And I should have more characters if his economy is totally hindered by the kobolds. So I believe it's now my turn, and I'm going to go ahead and draw my 4, and we'll see who I get. And I got a Ring of Magnetism, so we're looking for maybe masks because the ring isn't going to help me all that much. We'll see, though. Oh,
did you roll those 2 down there?
I'm rolling them now.
All right, perfect.
I'm going to keep these 2 masks. I really want Cassie, so I'll keep that and this mask. We'll see if I can actually re-roll these 2 sidekicks.
He wouldn't do that.
We'll see if I can re-roll these 2 sidekicks and get enough to pick up Mara and Cassie. It doesn't look like it. So what I'll do instead is I'll just pick up Cassie and then save these masks for globals in case I need them. Both PXG and Distraction are both viable options.
Right, Distraction's global being pay a mask to remove 1 attacker from the attack zone to the field, and then Mystic Box you've also chosen on this team, pay a shield, swap the attack value of one of your monsters with that of an opposing monster. Now, really, on your team, is that more of a defensive mechanic for you, or something that you use on the offense?
I use Mystic Box any way I can. I love it. It's amazing, and it's offensive, defensive, whatever I want. On this team, I will be using it offensively more than I would in any other team. Deadman allows me to lock their characters on the board, and then Mystic Box, I can still steal their stats. And so my sidekicks now swing for whatever character, or for whatever attack value Deadman has locked onto the board.
Your dance actually is.
All right, looks like he went ahead and PXG'd, so it should be your turn. All right, it's his turn. All right, so we're looking at a Human Torch, possibly Kobold, possibly to get that swarm going. I know you kept those masks, so you have 4 dice left in your bag. Joker's part of that. If he does get the Kobold out on the field, what would you go for then with the Joker?
I would probably still go for kobolds because then he only has 1, and he won't be able to field the others. And if I can get that one off the board, then it'll still be locked out.
All right, so it looks like you did get a Human Torch at level 3. This Human Torch, again, Johnny Storm, while active, each time you field a character, Human Torch deals 1 damage to your opponent and 1 to target character. So he's not going to field any other characters this turn, but he is going to have that on the field for next, and he does have energy left to possibly purchase. He's going to go ahead and grab a Black Widow. Now that doesn't still deter you because he still hasn't fielded any kobolds, right? So you're probably just going to keep with that call.
Yeah, the Black Widow I might switch to depending. But first, let me go ahead and PXG a little bit, and then I'll use this PXG to PXG that one, and then I'll use both of these to do this one. And then he might attack me, but I have a sidekick, so I think I'm all right.
And he does decide to go to an attack. I mean, would you go ahead and try and prep a die here with that sidekick, or would you? Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna prep a die. Anytime I can get a prep in exchange for his prep is good, and I want to stay up in life because he has so many ways to just do direct damage. Plus, Joker's fielding cost is pretty high, so anytime I can get just that little bit of extra, it means I'm gonna not lose my ramp trying to field a high cost character.
Right. All right, so you do get the Joker.
I do get the Joker, and he's not level 1, so that's one Serena I can avoid. So that makes me really want to pick Kobolds, because he's not going to get his Swarm on, even though he's prepped and ready for it. Like, next turn, he's likely to get everything he needs to swarm, and if I prevent that, that's characters he cannot ping me with Human Torch for. So that's really important. Obviously, keeping question marks. We did buy a Cassie. We bought a thing. We really want to get Deadman up and running. So what I'm going to do is save a shield
That's her last one.
and a fist, just in case I need to buy Worth, but mostly just for energy. And I can use it to field Joker. And I'm hoping for some masks and no sidekicks, but we'll see how it goes. Hey, those work. So we are going to spend a fist to field the Joker. When I field the Joker, I name Kobold. So Kobold is now Jokered. And then this other 5 here will go for Deadman. And we're going to get our Deadman in rotation here very, very soon.
All right, that Joker did come in. I believe it's level. Yeah, it's level 2. So we got a 2/5 Joker. You purchased that. I'm going to go ahead and make a marker here so that we can keep it on mind that you did call Kobold on that. And it looks like he's just going to go ahead and PXG in response to that.
And then it's your turn to do after you PXG.
So is this the point where, at what point do you then buy Worth? I know Worth is going to be basically a cheaper version of either Deadman or the Joker, being the one that, when fielded, you may use the when fielded effect of one of the characters active characters. What's the timing on that one? When do you want to grab that?
I definitely want to pick up Worth next.
Oh,
He's going to be the next thing that I really want to pick up.
I might be screwed. Yeah.
He's going to allow me to start capturing multiple characters and prevent blockers, and then I can
Shit.
swing through with Worth. And Worth is really my win condition. I'm going to just attack.
Oh, well.
Hold on, let me do this again. I'm going to really want to pick up Worth next. He's my next purchase. I've got the situational lockdown character. I've got the 3 main characters of the deck, and now I want to go again. I want to pick up Worth next, and I'll be able to field him, lock down a character, and swing. Field him, lock down a character, and swing. And so that's my plan.
Yeah, it sounds pretty solid in terms of keeping that control element while still bouncing him. So he did roll a Kobold. He will not be able to field that Kobold, but does have plenty of energy going in a different direction potentially this turn. I'm not sure where he's going to go, since that's he seems invested in those Kobolds. Potentially, I mean, Morphing Jar? I mean, what do you think he's going to go after next?
Well, the fists will probably get him Wolverine, and then more Serenas, So that's always a good plan for him, is to pick the pick the characters that you have the right energy type for, and if something's preventing you from fielding one character, you wanna spread out horizontally and pick multiple different characters. That's a good way to counter things like Constantine. It's a great way to counter things like Joker. The new Lyssa Drac, it's a good way to counter her by having more choices than they can control, is basically the plan.
All right, and it looks like he's going to go ahead. I think he did go ahead and re-roll those, so he's going to go ahead and purchase on this turn. He's going to purchase a couple Black Widows potentially. Yeah, all the rest of them. So you, with one character out on the field at level 2, you can spin down once for that. But is that probably where your Deadman's going to go in terms of when you get to?
Yeah, I'm going to hopefully start locking down Black Widows left, right, and center, so that they can't leave the field and they can't be fielded. So we'll see how it goes, though.
All right. So he's passing priority.
And I PXG once, and I PXG again, and I've done my turn. I believe it's now my turn, or is there anything else you'd like to do?
right, so we will see potentially Deadman and Wonder Girl on this turn. You do have the ring in your bag with those 3 dice left, so if you get her fielded, that's at least half the equation for that part of the combo. With the spare energy that you do get off this, if you are able to field both of those, what would be potentially your purchase? Probably, he said Worth, right? That's the direction.
Worth if I can afford it, Mara if I can't, but I want to maintain ramp so that I can get up and running. And with 2 fieldings, so I'm going to go ahead and field.
You're not dead.
I'm going to go ahead and field Deadman, and that's going to lock down the Human Torch. I'm going to just pull him down here so he's directly across Deadman. So the Human Torch can no longer attack or block. And then that cost me a fist. And now I'm going to field Cassie, and that's going to cost me a shield.
Yeah.
And now I have a sidekick that I'm going to field. And like I said, I want to maintain ramp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually attack with this sidekick and swap. Actually, I'm sorry, before I attack, I pass priority to you so that you can PXG if you'd like.
Oh, yes, I got it, yes.
My question for you, Patrick, on this is Deadman, the card it reads, when fielded, choose a character. That character cannot attack or block until Deadman is no longer active. Now, is that a character that has to already be in field, or is that a character?
He picks just 1 die.
Okay, so it's not like Constantine where you can't just call a card.
Yeah, it's just 1 die. So, Tado, yeah, are you going to PXG or anything?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like
I'm sorry you're going to have so much editing, sir.
it's not a big deal.
Okay. Are you keeping that question mark?
All right, so it looks like he's going to go ahead and hold on to the last mass there. I guess potentially if you do decide to attack this turn. So since he does have that, what's your response to that?
Since he does have that, and I know that in his bag he's got.
Do you want help one or no?
In his bag he only has a Black Widow and 2 kobolds and
Yes,
a
help,
sidekick.
Okay. That's what I was asking.
I'm not worried about the 1 Black Widow coming, and so I don't want to go through for damage right now, and I'm just going to hold on to my energy. And it's better for me to deny him those last 2 sidekicks and make them have to churn through his bag. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is I'm just going to pass and let him waste that last energy. And then it's now Tado's turn.
All right, so you called it. We got the 2 kobolds, Black Widow, and a sidekick. He's got a lot of energy on this turn, potentially to be rolling, and he cannot field those kobolds. So if he does get the Black Widow out, you have enough in terms of characters that can spin down to really counter that effect. It looks like he's going to roll a kobold and a sidekick. So, but he is going to get to deal Human Torch damage to you. What's your response to the Human Torch? Are you really worried about that ping damage?
The 1 damage at a time from Human Torch isn't a big deal because that's going to be the only character he's got on the field is the 1 sidekick. Technically, I could swing through for 7 next turn if I wanted to. And in fact, he rerolled the sidekick, but he does get the Widow, so that's the thing. But yeah, no, I mean, right now he's basically only got 1 defender, and so anything I field is an attacker that can go straight on through. So once I get to the point where, his 1 point of damage from Human Torch every round or so isn't as big of a deal as the giant empty field that he basically has going on right now.
Right. So he did go ahead and deal 8 damage to you by fielding that Black Widow. He's going to go ahead and direct the damage to which character?
Oh, good one.
Okay, he pings the Joker. which we all know is not going to matter unless I block with the Joker.
All right, so with that energy he has remaining, it looks like a total of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's going to definitely keep some ramp energy. And go ahead and purchase a Wolverine, which is the other component of this team. Now, having that Wolverine come at you for potentially 12 damage on a turn, if he can get the combo right going where it can't be targeted, and it has the pump ability, what's your defense against that?
The Mara Global, we already talked about it.
Yeah, the Mara Global.
I'm not worried about the big giant hit guy. All right, looks like he did attack in. I'm going to actually. I'm going to. He passes priority to me. I will PXG once, and then. And then. You know what? I'm not worried about his one Black Widow attacker, so I'm just going to PXG for as much as I can and get all of that up and running. And then I pass it back to him. And now he's going to force me to level down. So I level down the Joker. And then I will... I'm sorry, Tido, did you use the Doom Caliber Knight Global?
And bolt to invulnerability. So it looks like he's going to go ahead and pump the Black Widow.
Sure. I'm just going to block the Black Widow with a sidekick, though. So she can be as big as she wants, but my one sidekick's still going to kill her. So. And now I have plenty of ramp for next turn.
Way. Todd's so far
yeah, so you're going to go ahead and purchase, I guess, next turn, Worth is what we were talking about, to copy the wind-fielded effects of Deadman, or even Joker if you need be. You know, you've got that option on your both sides.
Yep. Oh, the thing about Joker is all Joker does is change targets. Deadman accumulates targets. So that's the difference.
Yeah, again, looking at the Joker card, let's see, when fielded, choose an opponent's character card, cancel all previous choices. So as you field Ward that cancels that previous choice, essentially creating one choice per Joker, not per Joker, but per for however many Jokers you have out on the field. So you did get the ring there, so that combo's up and running.
I did, and I was able to buy a Worth as well. So that portion's up and running as well. And then I will pass to Tido, and we will get this ball rolling. And he's going to get his PXG on.
So now that he has that ring, that really cancels out the invulnerability, distraction, Mystic Box globals, essentially any of the globals that we have that targets at this point. I believe that's all it is right now. Like you said, the Mara Global does not technically target.
Exactly. And speaking of stopping the Mystic Box globals, now that I have the ring on, I can attack with this sidekick, and the Human Torch that's 4/4 that's sitting on the board locked up, I can actually spend this shield.
I didn't even have boots, so now I have boots and my street boots.
So speaking of which, since I have the Human Torch locked up and he's a 4-attack character, I can attack with this sidekick and use the Mystic Box Global to hit my opponent for 4 damage. And there's nothing he can do about it because he can't swap it back. So that's a really powerful effect on the ring, preventing my opponent from interfering. So Tido is going to be taking 4 damage from this unblockable sidekick.
Yeah, but that's going to put him down to 16 life versus 19 life. So you're already on your way, and you do have 1 die left, or 1 wild left to go ahead and PXG. You really don't have to worry too much really about those Black Widows, right, since you've got the characters to spin down.
I actually only have 1 character left to spin down, but you have to remember 4 of the dice he's drawing are kobolds, and the kobolds can't do anything. So his bag is so full and so bloated that he may be getting a ton of energy, but it's not actually going to do much for him because now he can't target my characters. He can't target his characters. He can't use invulnerability. He can't he can't use Mystic Box, so he's going to have like the one guy, but he can't get through my giant defensive wall. I have one sidekick that I can just chump block, the one attacker that is likely to be able to kill me, but he's not able to pump or do any combat tricks to get any bigger characters. So,
Right, and the Hulk out itself too is now redirected to Wonder Girl as well, so there's no real point in that die as well.
Exactly.
So we did roll the Wolverine and it looks like 2 of the Black Widows with the Cobalt Despair, but the Cobalt is going to re-roll. So again, since it was called by the Joker and cannot be fielded. And with that energy, he should be fielding all 3 characters. It does look like they're all level, or fielding cost of 1. So he's going to go ahead and deal 3 damage to you off that Human Torch's ability. Again, forcing you to spin down. With that 1 spin down and dealing 2 damage, because you can only spin down 1. How are you going to handle this?
So what he does is he fields the first Black Widow, and the damage that's directed to Cassandra by necessity is now redirected to that first Widow, and all 3 of that damage will eventually be affected to the first Widow. So she's just going to die from fielding characters. So this Black Widow ends up dying because of the Human Torch, because he is required to target Cassie, and Cassie allows me to retarget to the Black Widow.
Our Kog'Maw is 6-0, so our Kog'Maw is even more fun.
So do you think was that a better choice over the Wolverine, you think, in terms of getting those heavier hitters off the field? Does that really matter at this point?
Unfortunately, the way he fielded, he didn't put Wolverine out first. So he put Wolverine out last, so at most I could have done 1 damage to Wolverine. So the first character fielded was Black Widow. I redirected it to Black Widow. The second character fielded was another Black Widow. I'll redirect it to the first Black Widow. And the third character to come out was Wolverine, so I redirected to the first Black Widow, because that was the only way I was going to get a kill off of that redirection.
All right, and he did go ahead and purchase a Hulk out as well on that turn. Again, while Cassie's out there, that's not really going to help him too much.
But he will have options.
Yeah.
I am going to... I'm going to go ahead and PXG. He passed me priority, so I was trying to figure out what I want to do. I think I really want to PXG, though. So I'll go ahead and PXG and pass it back to you, Tito. And I don't have anyone else to level down, so I'm gonna take 2 damage from Black Widow. I thought Deadman leveled down again, but he doesn't. So, and then I am going to. He has two energy in his reserve, but we already know he can't target anybody to do any pumps. So I can just block the Black Widow with the Deadman, and then chump block the Wolverine with the sidekick, and so the sidekick will die, and Wolverine will bounce back, and Widow will bounce back.
Yeah, oh, there's the Leona.
And now it is my turn.
Oh, geez.
And we're hoping to draw our Worth, and there he is. And let's see.
Who would you she'd lock down the Black Widow? That'd probably be.
Yeah, because the Black Widow can actually do damage to me.
Right.
I really just want masks at this point, so I'm just going to re-roll for as many masks as I can, so that I can PXG for as much as I can, so that I can get Worth back out. Although now that I think about it, no, I also want masks because if I buy anything this turn, it's going to be Mara, because I want to get Mara out so I can start gaining life.
Well, just a thought for you. Would you have wanted to keep any of those sidekicks and shields that you could have potentially?
No.
Power, like at that point.
No, because you'll see in just a second. I'm going to spend a fist to field
There it
Worth.
is.
When I field Worth, I'm going to capture this Black Widow. So these two are both captured by the
Yeah,
Dead Man.
She always has.
And then
Also.
I have a mask. And then I pass priority to you, Tado. I'm not sure what I want to buy yet, so I want to see what you want to do with your energy.
No, I really can't.
Now the question comes up. I know if Wonder Girl is out there, since you do have that combo, she's not quite Lord of D, in that Lord of D would cancel the combo being Lord of D cannot be the target, and then putting a ring on him, forcing him to be the target. Wonder Girl is kind of a variant on that because she specifies that you may choose an opponent's character die as the new target for that effect. Just to clarify for people, though, if there are no legal targets at that point,
Yeah. Right. If there are no legal targets, then it's definitely a bad time for you because you can't redirect, right? So now Cassie's likely to die from whatever's targeting her. That's why Cassie combos really well with Deadman, because Deadman keeps somebody around to be retargeted to. And I've decided that I'm going to keep a shield, and I'm going to go ahead and purchase a Mara. I'm not going to have perfect PXG this turn, but it's as good as I'm going to get. And then I'll pass back to Tado again. See if he wants to do anything now.
I know. So,
it looks like he's going to hold off. So at this point, would you go ahead and attack then?
Oh yeah, I'm attacking with Worth, and we'll see what he wants to do about it. Currently, he only has the Wolverine to block with.
Now, would you have wanted not to attack with, well, I guess Deadman you have to keep out due to that effect, but if you'd had one of those sidekicks, would you have attacked with the sidekick and Worf?
I would not have attacked. I would have attacked with sidekicks and Worth. Yeah, absolutely. Now Tado is trying to use distraction, but unfortunately he cannot distract Worth because of the Ring of Magnetism, and the Ring of Magnetism draws the distraction to Wonder Girl, and then I let Wonder Girl get distracted. So that's not going to be able to happen. Now the question is do you want to block before you use globals? Or are you just going to take the 5 damage? Unfortunately, Human Torch and Black Widow are both locked down, so you can't block with either of those because Deadman says you can't block or attack. So, yeah. So the only option is block with Wolverine or take 5 damage. And he chooses to block with Wolverine, at which point I'm going to spend a shield and steal Wolverine's attack and give it to the Joker so that Wolverine doesn't kill my Worth, and when he rolls his Black Widow next turn, I'll have a character to level down with. Normally I wouldn't do that because I want Worth to cycle again, but at this point I need some levels to buy some time so that I don't take some extra damage. And I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get Worth killed again next turn, so it's not a big deal. And then I pass my turn, and it's if Tado has some globals he wants to do, he can, but Wolverine's going to die from Worth's 5 attack. Wolverine currently has 1 attack, so he does not kill Worth, and he can PXG if he'd like.
So that's a really tough combo to get around on that, I guess, with the Wonder Girl Ring of Magnetism holding off any kind of transferability. So I can definitely see where you're going with this, the Worth being really the key to getting that damage through. And PXG, you're just using that essentially just to clean it out so you ensure you get Worth every time pretty much?
Yeah, the plan is just roll Worth every time. If you have Mara on the board, it's 1 health.
Everyone was sped up.
When you have Deadman on the board, it's 1 locked down character. Yeah, it's your turn, Tado. When you have so you've got You've got Worth triggering Deadman. He triggers Mara. And then you get those 2 benefits, and then he attacks for 2, 3, or 5 damage. So that's really solid.
Now, at this point, since it does seem like his main aggressive key here is going to be Black Widow, would you, if you do get War through, would you change that to a Joker and then call Black Widow, or what would be your next strategy, since he's going to be nailing you with direct damage as well as potentially the pin down damage?
I was actually just thinking that perhaps I want to switch to Black Widow, because the kobolds aren't going to do him much now that he's bought everything, and if I lock them down, he's not going to actually get anything on the field. So now that I already have a significant amount of lockdown, I think you're right. That might be the better call.
So we did go ahead and re-roll that Wolverine with
Hold on, real quick. He fielded a Black Widow and did 1 damage to me with Human Torch, so I'll take 1 damage. But that Widow also dies immediately from the redirected Human Torch damage. And then he fielded another Black Widow who does 1 damage to me, but then dies immediately to the Human Torch damage. And it looks like he has another Widow to field. And that one's a 3/3. So I'll simply just ping my. I'll actually. No, I can't. I cannot redirect to my own characters. So what I'll do is I'll just ping his Black Widow.
And that being the one that can attack and can block.
Correct.
The other ones are locked down. Okay. Looks like he did buy another Hulk out. And with that Cobalt in the field, that should go to, or in the reserve pool, that should go to used at the end of the turn here. But he is going to go ahead and attack with those 2. So you do have an option to spin down. What's your move here?
Well, first of all, this Black Widow can't attack because Deadman has her locked down. So like these 2 characters are locked down by Deadman. But this one can attack, and I will simply level down my Worth, and then choose to block the Widow. So we'll just end up KOing each other. And then I will PXG as well.
So that did work out pretty well for you, because now you do have that option to Black Widow, or turn that into a Joker.
Oh, what are you gonna do?
Yep. Let's hope for it, right?
Exactly.
One of the problems is you actually have to land Worth for it to matter. But there's a Worth that I like because he's nice and cheap, and there's some masks for me to PXG with. And I actually want this sidekick, and this shield to do 4 damage to my opponent.
Bad at people.
My question to you is, he cannot target your characters right now, correct?
Correct, yes.
So would going in for as much damage and being aggressive at this point with your other characters, is that something you would look at, since he can't block?
He can't block, but my characters... He can't block, but my characters are locking down the board by being on the board. If I attack with them...
Like 2 days ago, right, Todd?
If I attack with them, they get removed from the board, and then I no longer have the lockdown.
He's on our team, and he shit on their whole team.
So really, your team is kind of pigeonholed into holding down the board state in that regards. But you do have an option with Worth each turn to really deal the aggressive option for you. That's the main key to this.
Correct. Yeah, you're absolutely right. To Do, I'm going to field Worth, and I'm going to redo Joker's ability. Joker is now preventing Black Widow from being fielded. You may now field kobolds. And I will also field this sidekick. I will pass priority to you, Tado.
With the great thing about this, too, is now that you've fielded Worth, that other Joker holds the place of that Worth call. So... In essence, he can, every time he comes in, he can change. As long as that Joker and as long as that Deadman stay out on the field, Worth can option out either of them and leave them in that state, basically. Or not both of them, but the Joker mostly.
You're absolutely correct. And now I will attack with Worth and this sidekick, and then I will spend this shield to seal the Human Torch's attack stat and give it to this sidekick, so you'll be taking a total of 6 damage.
You wouldn't want to trade, or not trade, but pump the other character, or even trade with that Black Widow. That's not something you would have wanted to do at that point.
No, I want to maintain PXG so I can do that one more turn. I think one more turn and I'll be able to just swing with everything and get the win.
Gotcha.
So I'm just chipping away with just enough to get in there. And remember, he could always use the Marrow Global to reduce anybody attack that has a 5 attack or more. So we're trying to look to hit for 4 damage exactly. And the Human Torch is perfect for that because I can steal his 4 attack and be comfortable. And I end my turn. It's now your turn, Tito.
All right, so like you said, you've changed the target for Joker, so Cobalt potentially could be on this turn fielded, which is great for you because looking at it, the odds of him getting Black Widow, at least 1 or 2 facings, is pretty high.
On top of that, if he does field the Kobold, or any sidekicks for that matter, Human Torch will actually kill them off immediately for me. So he'll have no blockers guaranteed this turn. Unless he gets the level 3 Kobold. That would be the only thing that could actually hurt me.
It looks like he did get the level 1, as well as level 1 Black Widows. He's going to go ahead and keep the sidekicks, which again will still activate Human Torch's ability. Again, you can redirect it and kill them off if you wish to keep that board clear. But it's going to deal potentially right now 3 damage. With that Cobalt, that'd be a 4th, putting you at 8 life. He can't attack, so you're still pretty much in a strong control situation.
Right, yeah. At this point, he basically can only kill me by fielding 12 characters. And so he's going to do 1. The Kobold will immediately die from being fielded, and I'll take 1 damage.
Yeah, you've played with this team a good bit. What alternate conditions do you kind of have on here?
Well, now we don't have an ADC, jerks.
As win ways for you to get to where you need to be? Because I know, like you said, you got Worth working well with Mystic Box, but is that the main key to this, or is there another direction sometimes you use?
That really is the key, is Worth and sidekicks with Mystic Box. Everything else is just solid lockdown. Mara actually doesn't have bad attack stats. She's a 2-3-4 attacker, so she's not bad. Cassie actually has wonderful stats. She's also a 2-3-4 attacker. I just have never actually rolled her on a face that wasn't level 1. I'm not sure that they actually exist in Vassal.
Yeah, I know there's a couple characters that seem that way sometimes when we play online. Again, it just comes down to the rolls, I'm sure, just like in real life with this. But so he did go ahead and field those other 3 sidekicks, dealing 3 additional damage, which, are you going to go ahead and redirect and clear the board?
And yeah, I'm going to redirect and clear the board because, again, he's at 10. I have 5 on the field already. I only need to generate 5 more, and a shield does at least 3 of that. So 2 shields will give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 shields will give me 5 of that. So I just need basically 1 other body and 2 shields to win the game.
We also have, just so you remember, we have the Iceman Global, which allows you to spin any number of bolts to, or any number of Sidekick Die 2 bolts. So that combined, which I know he was using on his side, but again, just like in any game, the globals can be a benefit and a detriment at the same time. In this situation as well, I mean, right now if you roll a bolt and any of those sidekicks, essentially you can take this.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Here's hoping I get Worth, but I don't. But perhaps I can just win with Mara or sidekicks. I'm gonna keep this sidekick, keep this question mark, and reroll everything. Hope I get some more bodies. Hey, those are bodies. 1, 2, 3,
You guys are a
4.
bunch of idiots.
And I will pass priority to you. If there's
We didn't have
anything,
an ADC. I didn't want to lose again.
if there's anything you'd like to do, you may go ahead.
So again, you're looking at, you fielded Foresight, Foresight considers 4 damage, plus 1 with the Joker being 5, plus 2, so 7, and then another 8 and 9 damage on the field. With multiple options, again with that Mystic Box Global, allowing you to redirect the attack value from one of the opposing to your characters. So really, you do have a great game state right now. You essentially have the game. So.
Yeah, I effectively have the game. So whether you PXG or not, I'm just going to attack with everybody. I'll just use a bolt on Wonder Girl and a bolt on Deadman just for flair, because this is the Wonder Dead team. And I believe that's 11 damage, and that's the game.
So thanks again to...
I've got like a 12-minute wait.
So thanks again to Do for coming on and joining us and really putting up a good battle, showing us how the Deadman team here can really take out the meta, or at least a very popular team format on the meta. Patrick, you said, what was the name of the team again?
The Wonder Dead.
The Wonder Dead team can be found right now on the reservepool.com under the prep area article that's posted. Thanks again so much for joining us here in the lab, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Later.
Is there anything else we should add to that ending? Like, what should be the ending? Or is that good enough?
At this point, I don't know.
It's my secret mail for work.
Hold on. Okay, sorry.
It's my coworker's twin boys.
Let's see. I don't know. We should probably do be sure to download the podcast and take a listen.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay. So thanks again for joining us in the lab. Thanks to Do for putting up a good fight here. You can probably find him on Vassal Hangouts or Vassal Games online if you want to go up against this strong team of meta format with the Logan Swarm combination. And goddamn, I keep forgetting what the name of your team is. Undead.
Wonder Dead.
Wonder Dead.
It's the first word of 2 characters.
Well, I'm horrible at this. You know that. So Wonder Dead, Patrick. This can be found right now on the prep area.
Yeah, you can find the link for the team underneath the podcast, or just listen to the podcast and hold a notebook up and write them all down. No, just click the link.
Well, thanks again, Nefarious Geneticist, for showing us what this team is and how to play it. Again, if you want to watch more of this, you can check out more of our videos at thereservepool.com. And also be sure to subscribe to our channel. Make sure you get these videos first. And we'll see you next week. That's it. All right, cool.